Welcome. In front of me is a Samsung Galaxy A25, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. As you can probably see based on the packaging, this isn't a expensive device. So we do have just a typical like flimsy cardboard packaging right here. Inside a phone. I just have to peel that off. There we go. So I am gonna boot it up. Assuming there's battery. There we go. Now here we just got a SIM eject tool and nothing under that. And here we'll have our cable for charging, and that's about it, along with paperwork. But no one cares about paperwork. So there we go. Pretty bare bones in terms of, well, what you get in terms of accessories outside of just the device itself. Now I am gonna start off by mentioning the price of this device, which is about $270. So it is more towards mid-range of devices, or at least what I would consider mid-range, at the very start of that. And for that price we get a Super AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate and a peak brightness of about 1000 nits with a 6.5-inch display, a 1080p resolution, 82 or 84% screen to body ratio with about 400 pixels per inch. So in terms of the display right here, it's a decent display. The only thing that kind of bugs me is that this device was released at the very end of this year, or well, last year technically, 2023. So for a device that was basically released at the 2024 start or end of 2023, this chin at the bottom is absolutely freaking hideous. Phones have managed to not have this for some time already. As you can probably see right here, this has very minimal bezels all around, and this is like a 4-year-old device. So I'm not sure how they still can't give you a decent looking device in basically 2024 while still charging a mid-range price for it. Anyway, continuing on into the specs, there's a little bit of a positive right here. So internally, this device is running on Android 14, which is the newest one right now at least, with a One UI 6 as their skin over the Android. It is being powered by an Exynos 1280. It has either 6 or 8 gigabytes of built-in RAM, 5000 mAh battery, and either 128 gigabytes of storage or 256. And, well, we're at it. Let's see if we have any expandable storage. I would presume we do, but it's Samsung, so you never know. And yeah, we do. So you can pop in an SD card in here and expand it even further, or you can use 2 different SIM cards at the same time. Okay. Now continuing on, I mentioned we have a 5000 mAh battery in here that is powering this device. And in terms of the charging, we have a very shitty charging at 25 watts. Now this is more common for Samsung, as they kind of give you a 25 watt charging for a $1,800 device as well. So it's not like, you know, they're really giving you anything great here. They're just overly underperforming in terms of charging speeds altogether for the past like a decade. So to kind of go over this, I mean, they are scared that their phone's gonna start blowing up, and obviously that would be very bad for PR, like the Note series was. But for goodness sake, if you can't make a device that can charge quickly in 2023 and isn't going to blow up, I guess you're not fit for this market. That's my opinion right here. Which I do stand by, considering an $1,800 device is no exception to charge at 25 effing watts. This is just unacceptable. And even for a mid-range device, this is slow. Like, we do have at least 30 watt charging, 33 on most devices that are similarly priced. So this is just a joke. Anyway, moving on. In terms of the cameras, hopefully they do make that up and with those. But by the look of it, it doesn't seem so. So, cameras right here, 50 megapixel wide sensor, PDAF and optical mid stabilization. Then we got an 8 megapixel ultra wide, 120 degree field of view, and 2 megapixel macro. So we have actually 2 cameras. So just remove this one, and this one doesn't exist really. So yeah, there we go. Those are our 2 cameras, ultra wide and wide. Great. For over $200. I do have a problem with that. Okay, so that's basically the entire device. Now, a couple additional things that I do want to point out. We do have a fingerprint sensor mounted on the side with this, like a more protruding area right here. So it has this more like flat edges all around, apart from right here where it just protrudes for some reason, because they just couldn't make it symmetrical. But that's sarcasm, just for people that are wondering. We do have a Type-C port, and we do have a headphone jack, which they apparently managed to fit on a device that is this thick, which their excuse before on like note lineups just kind of falls apart, considering notes are thicker than this, but okay. And now, as the last thing that I do want to go over is a device that I would probably recommend over this one, considering it will probably cost about the same. Now, if you don't mind Chinese devices like Xiaomi, which arguably will be just significantly better than this in every aspect, although it will be more expensive, assuming you can't get it on sale. It is a already older device that was released at the beginning of 2023, so about a year old. So there's a chance you might actually be able to pick it up for about the same price as this device, and that would be the Xiaomi Poco F5, which is still, till this day, meaning a year later, without consider the best value for the money. I keep recommending this device just because the price for this device and what it offers is just uncomparable to any other device that is on the market. And Xiaomi does create reliable devices, so I really have no problem recommending this specific device. Now, to quickly go into what this device will give you for, I would assume roughly the same price. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna check exactly what the price difference would be right now. So this is the Galaxy A25, and so bear with me while I'm just gonna quickly check out the prices. I do want to have basically the exact price difference between those at current market, just so this kind of, you know, comparison, this recommendation can be a bit more valid, I guess. So okay, so I'm gonna say this in PLN and try to give you like a actual, you know, relative price in US dollars. So let's see. So right now in PLN, Poco F5 costs 1,800 PLN. And what we're gonna do is just divide that by 4, which gives us about a $450 price tag, which is pretty expensive. Now, this is already with tax, keep that in mind, something that we do have right here. While the Samsung A25, the very base model, costs almost 1,500, which would equate to 375 bucks. So the difference is about like 70 bucks difference between those two, actually. In both cases, this is with tax already, so if you're in US, you don't have to actually worry about the price would be cheaper in this case, considering your prices are, I think, without tax yet. So anyway, the price is very minimal, but believe me, what you get for the additional money is just uncomparable to what you have right here. Now, if you're relying on Samsung ecosystem with their like backups and their secure folders and all that crap that Samsung gives you with their device, then I guess it's not really a competition to you. You're gonna go for this device. But if you're looking for getting the best value for the money that you're gonna spend on for your hard-earned money on a device, then I would highly recommend looking into the Poco F5. And quickly going into the actual differences. The display type will be the same, it's AMOLED, but it will be better with 68 billion colors, and Dolby Vision, HDR10+, 120 Hz refresh rate, which is the same, and a peak brightness of 1000 nits, again the same. The battery size will be the same, but the charging speed will be, what was it? Oh, 67 watts, yeah, almost triple almost triple the charging speed of this poor excuse of a mid-range device. Also, in terms of processor, it comes with a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, which obviously will be significantly better than what Samsung offers with their crappy little Exynos, with their poor excuse of a processor, in-house processor is. They're basically trying to copy Apple, but their processors are absolute dog shit. So it's just kind of hilarious. So Exynos, not very good. Snapdragon, fantastic, especially this one. In terms of cameras, it has a 64 megapixel instead of the 50 wide sensor, again with a PDAF and optical image stabilization. Then it has a 120 ultra wide 8 megapixel, same, and 2 megapixel macro, same. Again, I wouldn't count that 2 megapixel macro as a camera, again, even on that device. But in terms of video recording, you can record at 4K 30 frames, while the Samsung can record at, also 4K 30 frames and 1080p 30 frames. So it's about the same, though F5 Poco can record at 1080p 60 and also 120 Hz. So again, it blows this phone out of the water. And that's primarily all the actual important information. Now, one more thing that I will say, it does have a bigger display, being at 6.6 inches compared to this one, which was I think 6.5. But they're about the same. And additionally, the Poco does have a much more modern looking design, and the screen to body ratio is at almost 89%, which means that it will have barely visible bezels around, very minimal compared to what this has right here. So there we go, those are basically all the kind of important information. Additionally, one more thing that I will mention, it is running Android 13. The release of it, but at the release of it, it didn't have Android 14, didn't exist yet. And because these devices do have, I believe, like at least 2-year support, they do have access to Android 14. If not yet, then it should have it very soon. So again, it will have the same kind of Android newest version as this device does, just with a different skin. So that's the device I would recommend going over if you're looking to actually spend your money wisely and on a device that will offer you way more for the bag that you will be paying for the device, compared to this one, which just gives you the absolute bare minimum and also charges you a little bit too much for this kind of spec'd out device. So yeah, but it's Samsung, so their devices usually cost way too much, which is evident of this hunk of brick right here, which costs $1,800. Anyway, with that being said, hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.